forward. Testing 1, 2, 3. Sound is good. Okay.
Hi, so today I did my presentation on health and nutrition. So to start off, I'm going to show a little video. It explains the basics of how exercise doesn't only affect the outside of your body and how you look, but also the internal.
Regular physical activity can lower your risk of heart and circulatory disease by 35%. When you are active, the heat produced by your muscles increases your body temperature, making you feel warmer. Your heart starts to beat faster, pumping more blood to the muscles you are using. Your heart is also a muscle. If you are active regularly, it gets bigger and stronger. Your muscles are working harder, so they need more oxygen. You start to breathe faster, so your blood can pick up more oxygen from your lungs. Your lungs work harder to make this happen. Once your blood has picked up oxygen, it moves the muscles you are using, giving them the extra oxygen they need. If you are active regularly, more capillaries grow in the muscles you've been working. This is one reason why activity starts to feel easier over time. Getting active is great for people with diabetes. If you have type 2 diabetes, you have too much glucose in your blood, probably because you don't have enough insulin. Physical activity helps you use the insulin you do have. It also helps your cells use glucose, even when there is no insulin. Regular physical activity can improve your memory and attention span. Over time, the bit of the brain involved in memory and learning seems to get bigger. Long-term physical activity leads to a lower resting heart rate and lower blood pressure. This helps cut your risk of heart and circulatory disease. And there are more reasons to smile. When you're active, your brain produces chemicals called endorphins. These reduce feelings of pain and make you feel more positive. Getting active cuts down on stress hormones, reducing anxiety. Combine activity with a balanced diet and you'll help yourself reach and maintain a healthy weight. Aim for 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity per week. Try to be active every day. Every 10 minutes counts.
Okay, so a lot of people want to be healthier but don't know the best way to improve their self-health. And so I've kind of outlined it in 3 different parts. First, like what to eat and what better to do before your workout, then what to do during your workout, and what to do to recover. So the first thing is carbs. Carbs are good for before working out or 1 to 3 days before high intensity workouts. They're the main source of fuel for your body because when your body starts to work out, you break down carbs and it creates sugars to create energy. And carbs help you to work at a higher level of intensity for longer periods of time. Also, something very important is drinking water. A lot of people say to stay hydrated, but you don't really know why. So dehydration makes working out more difficult and decreases performance and lowers the amount of recovery your body will be able to do. Water also aids in organ function, prevents infection, and increases your ability to recover from working out and makes it easier to work out in future days. It also regulates body temperature and is very important to the process of your body to continue to function. Another important food group for people who are trying to better their health is protein. Protein is good to consume after a workout or before bed. If you take it before bed, it keeps your muscle development working while you sleep. So you're actually gaining muscle while you're sleeping. Also, protein is the building block of the cells in your body, so it helps your muscles to recover and to build. And protein also lessens your appetite, so you stay full for longer, and it helps people who are seeking to lose weight to be less hungry and seek food less. So my second category of tips is how to develop your exercise routine and what to do while you're working out that could benefit you. The first thing is lifting weights. A lot of people who are looking to lose weight think cardio and running is the best way to increase their physical appearance and lose weight, but it's actually not. Cardio lowers your metabolism, which decreases your ability to lose weight, while lifting weights increases metabolism, which aids in losing weight. Lifting weight also reduces your fat gained over time and allows your body to retain more lean muscle. It also improves sleep, posture, and bone strength. A lot of things with working out improve internal and physical and mental abilities as well as physical abilities. Another way to improve your workout is to do interval training. One big popular one right now is HIIT workouts, which is high intensity interval training. This increases stamina in your body. It is a short workout, but very high intensity. So you're working really hard for a short amount of time. So it makes your body powerful for longer. And because it's a short, intense workout, it decreases boredom and time spent in the gym. So for people on a time crunch or who just don't have the attention span to spend a lot of time in the gym, it's a good way to get your workout in and see gains without wasting a bunch of time. Another important thing for working on your body is varying your workout. It counters plateauing, which is when you hit a point and you don't see any more improvements. It also hits different muscle groups in the body. So if you're working out arms one day and you work out your legs the next day, it works different muscle groups and it allows your other core muscle groups to recover on the days you're working other groups so that you don't injure your body. My third category is recovering from exercise. It's important to recover from exercise because if you're working out and trying to improve your body, but you get injured because you aren't recovering properly, you won't be able to, it'll completely stop any improvement you're making. The first of this is sleep. Sleep is crazy important for working out and seeing improvement in your body. Most people need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Poor sleep decreases performance while working out and hinders your ability to recover. According to Carlson Phillips, sleep drives the hormonal shifts that promote the body's recovery to exercise because certain hormones promote recovery, while like testosterone produced while lifting or working out decreases your ability to recover. Another way to recover is stretching. Stretching breaks down lactic acid buildup in your muscles and allows your muscles to return to their original state. It increases flexibility, which also decreases your chances of getting injured. And it also relaxes the mind and relieves stress that might build up during your day. And the final one is active recovery. Active recovery is like jogging or swimming. It promotes circulation through your body and decreases inflammation. So it increases your heart rate while allowing it to cool down. So if you've been lifting for a long time, or you've been doing another intense workout, doing a walk or jog or swim after you do that workout will increase your heart rate while cooling your body down, allowing you to prolong the benefits of your workout while also allowing your body to recover. So in conclusion, there are many internal and external benefits you can find through exercise and nutrition that will benefit your health.
Next, we'll hear from Amanda Richley.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Richley, and today I will be talking about Siberian Huskies. I will be talking a lot about my experience with them because I have technically two of them. On the left, this is Nuka. She's a lab husky, and then on the right is Dakota, and he's a purebred husky. Their common traits, their origin is from Siberia, Russia. They're extremely energetic. That is one of the biggest things about Siberian Huskies is that usually they have a lot of energy. They have a thick undercoat and a soft outer coat. Another thing about a husky that everybody probably knows is that they have a huge coat of hair. They're very thick. They shed a lot. Sometimes when you brush them, it almost seems like they're gonna run out of hair, but it's never ending. They're highly social animals. They will make friends with anyone and anything unless it's a small animal, like in the next one. They do prey on smaller animals, and this does include cats. Some huskies are okay with living with cats if they were introduced to them as a young age, but some of them do not like cats. They're independent, athletic, and intelligent animals. Their behavior. So another really big thing about huskies that everybody probably knows is that they howl a lot. rather than bark. It is sometimes really annoying, but most of the time it's really funny. You kind of can't really get mad at them because it's really funny. It makes you laugh. They are huge escape artists. If they don't want to be in a situation, they will escape. No matter if they have to dig through it, jump through it, climb through it, whatever they have to do, if they don't want to be there, they won't be there. I read that in order to keep huskies maintained and in a certain area, they recommend building a 6-foot to 8-foot fence around the area, which is very, very high. They were raised in family settings, so they are good with children. I have seen it firsthand. My sister just had a baby, and both huskies are really, really good with them. They do have destructive behavior, and usually it is indoors because they have such high energy all the time. If they are inside, they probably will destroy things because they have so much energy. And also their destructive behavior is just them being kind of brats. They aren't very nice sometimes. And if they're mad at you, they'll just chew up everything. So first I'm going to talk about Nuka. So Nuka is a lab mix with husky. We're not too sure if she's mixed with Siberian or if she's mixed with Alaskan, but she does show a lot of Siberian traits. As you can see in these pictures, she looks really lazy, and she is. She is 5 years old, and when she was a puppy, that's when she showed a lot of her Siberian traits. She ran away all the time. As you can see, we have an electric collar on her, and that was one of the things I read up on, is that electric collars do not work on huskies because they don't care. We had to go pick her up when it was snowing outside. We had the day off of school because it was snowing, and my sister had to drive around our neighborhood and look for her because she ran away all the time. But now that she is a little bit older, her lab personality is showing. So she's just very lazy, doesn't really do much. And her name is Adhd for little sister. When we got her, the only other dog we had was an older dog named Moxie, and Nuka was her little sister, so it fit her personality really well. When we got Nuka, we actually got her because she was running away so much to our house. Our neighbor, they couldn't keep her inside. They kept her in a metal crate, and that is the one thing about huskies that they will not tolerate, is being in a crate. Nuka tore through the crate, broke the metal off of it, and kept escaping to our house. And one day our neighbor just said, like, hey, do you want this dog? Because we can't really take care of her anymore because she runs away so often. And later that day, she tore up a computer mouse because she just wanted to. Next, I'm gonna talk about Dakota. Dakota is my best friend. He matches my personality really well. Dakota is a purebred, which means that he is a little psychotic. He runs away all the time. I think he's around 3 years old, and he runs away probably 3 times a week. We have an electric collar on him, and we try to keep him in, but because of his personality trait and because of his dog breed, he's not going to stay in. He runs to our neighbor's house who has a kid and a dog and just goes and plays with them. On the left, that is a picture of the day that we got him. My sister and her boyfriend were visiting his family, and they went out to pour something like some water out of the car, and he jumped in the car, and my sister called me up and she was like, do you want another dog? He did have a chip in him, so she went to the vet and called, and again, the owner couldn't take care of him because of how much he ran away and how much he destroyed their house. And so she just ended up giving him to us, which worked out in the end because we could give him the life that he deserved and the acres to run on and stuff. He is funny. Since he's a purebred, he howls a lot, and I'm about to show y'all a video of the differences between him and Nuka, because having a purebred versus a mix is a really, really big difference. and I'm sure y'all will see in a little bit. But he will howl at anything, anyone. He howls when he's mad. He howls when he's sad. He howls when he's angry. He howls when he's hungry. Any type of emotion, he howls. So yeah, this video represents both of them. In the first half, it's Dakota, which is a purebred, and then the last half is Nuka, which is the mix.
Dakota. Excuse me.
This is super cute.
This is the cow she destroyed.
What are you doing?
This is our pond that he escapes to all the time just to sit in there.
Dakota. Get out. Get out. Out.
Say, Dakota, come.
Dakota, come here. Dakota, come here.
Dakota, come on.
Now this is Nuka. She does not like cats whatsoever. It's very scary. So yeah, sorry for it being super slow. Love Piedmont Wi-Fi, but as you can tell, there's a huge difference between a purebred and a mix. Nuka is very lazy. She doesn't really socialize with a lot of people anymore. And Dakota is the complete opposite, and he probably won't grow out of that. He probably will be as energetic as he was in the beginning, as a puppy. I end this with the urge for y'all to do your research before adopting a husky. Huskies are a lot of work. They take like 24/7 surveillance. You have to be watching the dog at all times or else something bad will happen, which doesn't work for some people. But both of these dogs, Nuka and Dakota, we got because their owners couldn't handle them anymore. Thankfully, we got them instead of them going to the pound because they definitely would have been put down because of their personality. So yes, please do your research before getting a husky. They are cute, but they are a lot of work. Yes, thank you.
Next, we will hear from Helen.
Well, good morning. My name is Helen, and today I'll be speaking to you about ADHD. And I wanted to start off today with, have you guys ever went onto Google and searched up your signs and symptoms and figure out if you have a certain disease or not? Well, I actually do that a lot because I'm a slight of a hypochondria. I don't know if I said that right now, but yeah, which is basically where you just diagnose yourself over and over again with little details that make sense but don't really make sense in a way. So I want to start off with a little video of Jennifer Lawrence.
If you date, you could be in hell if I to medicine to your lungs. To show how scary that is.
Yeah, you've called yourself a hypochondriac. What was the last illness you were sure that you had?
A stroke. It wasn't like a disease, but I thought I was having a stroke.
What were the symptoms?
Just a headache.
Yes, I love real.
Well, I actually self-diagnosed myself while doing this presentation, learning all the signs and symptoms. I'm like, I might actually have ADHD. So yeah, I actually gonna cover the basics of ADHD, and then I will have tell you about the differences between the girls and boys, and then I will have a closer look in women who have ADHD. So we're gonna start off with the basics. So what is ADHD? ADHD is basically an attention deficit disorder, which is hyperactive. It's basically where you can't really sit still, you can't do one task at a time and just really focus. You have a very impulsive behavior, and it's also known as a neurological disorder, and the cause is unknown. So how are you diagnosed with it? Being diagnosed with it, there's lots of signs and symptoms depending on, it varies by case actually, because it depends if you're a girl or a boy, or by your age group as well. So I'm gonna name a few signs and symptoms that are usually common between the both, which is daydreaming, memory loss, fidgeting, squirming, excessive speaking, struggles with resisting temptation, troubling with turns, and getting along with different people. There is this little dilemma with ADHD. It's usually misdiagnosed as anxiety or depression because it aligns with those symptoms as well. But a little more common symptoms would be described all over the place. Consider a little extra, such as adjusting your seat so many times, aka you could be diagnosed as being a perfectionist instead of having ADHD, is that as well. You could be jumping story to story a lot while you're talking to your friends. And there's this one symptom which really made me think I actually do have it, because if coffee makes you sleepy instead of waking you up, it's just like, it's a really common sign apparently. The treatment plan wise, there are different ones. For the most common for children under 6 years old is basically them going to behavioral management, and the parents get trained to deal with them and show them skills and strategies to help them. Also, it encourages the child to have positive behavior, learning the strengths, and cutting out unwanted problems. For the age where you start going to school, it's basically the same thing, having behavioral therapy, but you also have meds with this point. So it helps you focus a little better in classrooms and all. And with the therapy, it goes a little more in depth. It goes with the different environments, such as classrooms, being around more people, strangers and all. So with that, we're gonna go into the differences between boys and girls. So ADHD and boys, it's usually considered more as a boy disease than a girl and boy. Is only recently has been considered with girls, like 1990s or something like that. And it's mostly because they align ADHD with more hyperactivity than any other sign and symptom, and the girls don't really show that sign mostly. The boys usually get diagnosed in their childhood, and there's this little stigma where you associate signs and symptoms with basic boy behavior, and they really shouldn't be doing that. The main signs and symptoms of boys is hyperactivity, impulsibility, and attended distractibility, such as being loud and out of control, playing too rough, bumping into people. You can't stay still. Also, when you're in a classroom and the boy usually gets in trouble at school, they have more likely to go home and get in trouble more, since they have a mindset, if I'm in trouble already, then why not get in more trouble? But boys usually not really all hyperactivity, because sometimes they can be associated with the class clown or be viewed as an annoying type. So now we're gonna go to the girls with ADHD.
For a long time, ADHD was thought of as simply a problem with little boys. And it has taken a long time for people to realize that there are many girls who have very similar problems. The reason for that is that for a long time, the emphasis was on hyperactivity and behavior problems, which you see much more frequently with boys. And even today, boys are more than twice as likely to be diagnosed with ADHD as are girls. But the fact is, there are many girls who struggle in school. They may not make as much trouble and therefore aren't noticed as much by parents and teachers as having difficulty, but they may be more spaced out. They may have more difficulty in being able to focus on tasks, on being able to remember what they've just heard or what they've just read, have more difficulty getting organized and getting started on their work, and often are seen as just not very good students, when in fact they may be students who can function very well for something in which they have strong interest, or if their ADHD symptoms have been adequately treated.
Key takeaways. Hyperactivity is more common in boys, but it's not the only symptom of ADHD. Girls with attention issues might get overlooked because they don't act up as much as boys do. Boys are more than twice as likely as girls to be diagnosed with ADHD.
So now with the different genders, we're gonna go a little more focus on the women who have ADHD. As you can tell, there's a lot of signs and symptoms for the women, and I'm just name a few, such as they face being overwhelmed, they have psychological distress, they have feelings of inadequacy, and then they try their best to be tidy, but within a matter of days, they're back to being a mess, such as the car, the rooms, and all that. They can't get their work done in loud places. They usually need to do in a quiet setting. And they have this feeling always being drowned in paperwork since they're always procrastinating all their assignments to the very last moment. And they don't really like going to social gatherings like parties and all that. They have this feeling of overwhelmed and shyness when in a big group of people. And usually in relationships, it's hard to navigate for them since there's all these social roles and makes it complicated for them, and all these others is you can't really see. But yeah. So I found this story about ADHD of this woman being 45 years old and she barely found out she had it. Her name's Linda Rogge. She used to procrastinate all her assignments to the very last minute. She's very successful in her career. She is an entrepreneur. She has a small business. She earned the Small Business of the Year award, and she was barely keeping her head above the water, but no one really knew that she was barely doing that. So she was basically living a double life. So eventually she and her husband went to a couples therapy because they were having issues, I guess. And while that, her therapist actually diagnosed her with ADHD. And she was like, no, I'm too old for that. It can't be. But when the therapist kept talking to her about the signs and symptoms, and she was like, wow, I think I actually do have it. So overall, I just wanted to talk to y'all a little more in depth about ADHD, the differences of the girls and boys, and the basics of ADHD, such as the treatment, what it means, and that you can always get diagnosed at any age. It doesn't really matter. And therefore, I want to leave you off with, are you a person with undiagnosed ADHD, or do you know anyone like this? Thank you.
Let's see, Andrew Thomas. Andrew, will be our last presenter today.
Thank you for using Microsoft Sign In Verification. Please press the pound key to finish your verification. Your sign-in was successfully verified. Goodbye.
So my name is Andrew Thomas, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the different practicing things or preparing techniques to dove hunting, some practicing things that you can do before the dove hunting season, as well as some techniques to improve your shooting. So to start off, some of the preparing things that you need to do to start off. You need to be able to have an open field that you can support growth, and just kind of be open enough that you can see the birds come in and be, but also be able to be covered enough. So the field that I use, we grow wheat and sunflowers in kind of a row pattern. So I guess you could, if anybody knows anything about agriculture, that's called row cropping. So every year we switch which row has what plant. So it may go wheat, sunflower, but then the next year it will go sunflower, wheat, sunflower, wheat. So every year it gets switched, and then after about 5 years of us doing it, we, instead of going horizontal along the field, we went vertical along the field with the rows. So just to kind of switch it up and make sure that there's enough. I forgot what exactly it is, but there's like 3 main things that you need to grow plants, and just to make sure we have enough of those after each year, then we kind of cycle where each plant grows. So another thing of preparation is you need to know when the dates are when you can actually hunt. So the Georgia Department of Natural Resources sets the dates every year for the dove hunting season. So as it says here, the 2020-2021 dove season dates are September 5th through 30th, as well as November 21st and through the 29th, and then December 8th through January 31st. So as of right now, it is not going on. My family generally hunts the September 5th and does it every 2 weeks. So we give the birds time to come back in, so we don't overload them and they get scared off and then they don't ever come back. So as it says as well, shooting hours on those days, just on opening day, it starts at noon until sunset, and then every day after that is 1/2 hour before sunrise to sunset. And then in the picture right there is the mourning doves that you generally shoot. There are also collared doves that have a little white band around their neck, and those are called collared doves, which another part of the preparation is the 15 bird limit per day, which is also set by the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, which that 15 doves limit per day does not include the collared doves. The gun also needs to be plugged for 3 shells, so basically it only can have 3 shots in it at a time if it's a semi-automatic shotgun. So this is a Benelli Montefeltro gun right there. That is the gun that I use to hunt. And the little black cap that's underneath the barrel, that's the plug right there. And it can be taken out, and then I've seen modifications that can add up to 8 shells in the gun at one time. And then, as it says here, each hunter 16 and up needs a hunting license. Under certain circumstances, that can be changed, especially if you're hunting on your own land and you don't need a hunter's license. So with my family, my dad owns the land that I hunt on. So every family member, it can't be like extended family, but it's got to be immediate family, doesn't have to have a hunter's license. But if you were to go to public land or not have your own field and go to your friend's field, and you would need a hunter's license if you're over 16. And you also need to have a Georgia migratory bird stamp on it, which basically means like you can hunt the dove and then some quail and a couple of other birds. Next is going to be practicing techniques that you can do to get better at shooting. So to start off is sporting plays, which is kind of what you can do in your backyard if you really wanted to set it up. So basically you have one thrower in a random location and you don't generally know where it is, and then you kind of stand in one spot, and then the clay will come at you or go away from you or just come at any different angles. So it's kind of more realistic of what the actual dove hunting may be like, because when the birds come in, they're not always going to fly in a straight path. They're going to be coming all in different directions all over you. So that's one of the more realistic and I'd say the most difficult training technique, because they can be coming at different angles, different speeds, different positions, like all around you. So some can be coming over your head, some can be coming straight at you, and then some could be coming across you the other way. So it's very difficult to do. The next practicing technique is skeet shooting. So this is an example of skeet shooting. They actually have this in the Olympics, as well as another practicing technique that I'll get to in a minute. So skeet is also pretty difficult because they are traveling at very high velocities, and you have to be very quick because one goes right after another, and you have to immediately hit the first one and then immediately hit the second one. But as you can tell, you stand at 5 different spots around this little half circle right there, and one will be coming from your left and the one will be coming from your right, and generally it's the left one first and then the right one is second, and then generally it's 5 different shooters that will go at different times, and then after each person has shot 5 times, you move 1 space to the right, and then the person on the far right will go back to the left, to the far left. And the last practicing technique is called trap shooting. This is where you have shooters behind the actual thrower, and the thrower will throw it away from you at different angles, different speeds, and you will try and shoot them. Generally, it has 5 shooters, not going all at once, because then it's kind of hard to tell who shot it. So generally, 1 person goes at a time, and then it will throw about 3 or 4, depending on where you go. We'll throw 3 or 4 skeet, and then, or the disc itself, the clay disc itself, and then you will switch positions and then go again. And then, so this is a video of skeet shooting in the Olympics.
Okay, it is exactly 10:50.
Okay.
We need to in class at this time, and I'm going to write down time now. And when we return on Monday, take it start at this point.
Okay.
All right, let's give today's presenters on the floor. And also on Monday, we will hear from philosophy members who will need to present the presentation that will be just indeed. We will hear from Melanie Russ, Scott Cowell, and Mark Arbeiter. All right, have a good weekend, everyone.